can you be so happy so early in the morning?
I'm not.
It's a good smile.
I'm miserable.
It's a good fake. I feel like I have to say congratulations to you for what's about to happen to Doogie on the series this year.
Well, thank you very much.
You want to tell everybody what's happening to Doogie this year?
Doogie loses his virginity in the opening show.
Yeah. Are you a happy camper about that?
Yeah, I think it's fine. You know, it'll be good. I get a lot of flack from peers that Doogie hasn't done it yet, and I think it's a big thing until it happens, and then it's not a big deal anymore.
Is it with Wanda?
We're not supposed to say who it's with.
One of those, huh?
But it's with a female, which is good, and so it should be fun.
How's Vinny going to handle this?
We film that next week.
Oh, you haven't filmed it yet?
No, that's next week.
So do you know how Vinny will handle this?
Vinny doesn't know, and so there's going to be a later show where he doesn't think I do it, and then there's going to be a show later where he finds out that I did, and then we have a big confrontation because he thinks I didn't tell him. And so
you've said in articles that you have a lot in common with Doogie.
Yeah, well, they make Doogie a lot like me, because just in my speech and my lines and my vocabulary and stuff. Yeah, we are alike. You know, they try to play up the normal kid with normal feelings thing. So I mean,
that's true, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, sure.
It sounds like you have a very normal family. In fact, it sounds like you have a very hot ticket for a mom. She finished law school 5 years ago.
She was it 5 years ago? It must have been. Yes, she finished law school 5 years ago, and she started working. My dad has been working for 20 years.
But didn't she commute 200 miles?
Yeah, she went. We were living in Ruidoso, New Mexico, a little resort town, and she would go to Albuquerque, and she'd either come back or we'd go there every weekend. But now, my dad is getting another degree in international law and taxation. So,
but for a time,
so now he's going to be in Sacramento, going to school there. So.
Amazing. But for a time, they let it all go, stop their litigation, their practice, to help you out.
Well, we wanted to be a family. We've heard so many horror stories about coming to LA and ripping the family apart and being sucked into this abyss. But we wanted to keep the family together, you know, and everything. And it's worked out really well. This is the year they're going to go back the beginning of this season, and I'm renting a little house, so it's be
nice.
fun. Yeah.
You know, I talked to Michael J. Fox for an hour 2 weeks ago, and he was saying that this town, you're here 1 minute, you're gone the next, and that's something he's always worried about.
Well, it's something that's always got to be in the back of your mind. You know, as long as you're working, things are going great. And I moved over here to start working, so you know, things are going really well for me. But it could, you know, when it does stop, apparently it stops pretty wholeheartedly. But I've got some, you know, at college. And there's things that I can do if acting doesn't work out for a little while. I mean, I ultimately want to keep acting and maybe direct or do theater or whatever. But, you know, if it doesn't happen, I can go to college for
You just graduated from high school this year, right?
Yeah.
Did you graduate from the Albuquerque High School, and how did you do that?
Well, the show we only filmed the show half the year, so I get the second semester of school in my public school. And
Cramming, I would think, huh?
No?
Actually,
no. I have a tutor during the show, and then when I go back home, it's just, I'm caught up, and it's just regular school.
You just finished a movie with Terry Garr. It sounds like it's very poignant.
It is. It's called, tentatively called Son's Memories, about a boy who suffers a head injury and loses his memory, total retrograde amnesia. He never remembers his childhood, and so he has to relearn speaking and walking and communicating.
Based on a true story?
Yes. The actual family was there during the filming. It happened 2 years ago to a boy, Steve Thompson, who I played, and we got to know them, and it should be a good show.
It's an interesting thing because you hear the headlines and the crazies that happen with auto accidents, young people, but you never hear what happens after the fact. So this points up how lives change, huh?
And they do, and it's a very therapeutic family show, you know, showing that the family can get back together and they have to work through all their troubles and just keep going, you know.
Good working with Terry Garr?
Oh, yeah. She's crazy.
She is. She's a character. You've got some crazies in you, too. I hear when you get back to Albuquerque with your buddies, you guys have a good time.
We can manage, yeah.
And that gives you some normalcy, though, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
It roots you. I mean, this is not really a normal kind of setting here, is it?
Well, it's not, but it can be. I mean, you have to meet, you know, I've got friends here that granted are actors, but that aren't, you know, not every actor's crazy. And so I've got some great friends here that I can be rooted with, you know, as well.
You work with such a good cast on Doogie,
Oh,
don't
it's
you?
the best.
Yeah. Who are you closest to on the cast? Which is probably not a fair question, but you must have a...
I don't know. Jim Sicking, probably.
Yeah.
He's wonderful. He's wonderful. But the whole cast as a whole, I mean, Larry Pressman and, you know, you do like the Canfield scenes one day and the home scenes another day and the hospital scenes another. So it's every day, you know. Max is the best, and Mom and Dad are great, and Larry Pressman, Catherine Lang, the hospital. I mean, it's just every day it's someone different and fun. And
what's your favorite part about Doogie? I mean, I've watched episodes like with Raymond where there was such a point made in terms of someone shedding an image or having to live with a label. And I've watched messages come through the show, and yet it's always entertaining. Is that something that you like about it?
Yeah. Actually, my favorite parts of the show are the fantasies. I think some shows are written in such a way that Doogie's dreaming or has a fantasy that's very bizarre, like we did a Dugenstein one where he was Frankenstein, but that was very poignant as to his real life because the dream was you know, talking about trying to grow up and, you know, and do all this stuff and become an adult and everything. So I love filming those because it's different from just being in the house or the hospital. But yeah, the shows are very poignant.
Do you think you inspire young people? I mean, here you are, this very young man doing an adult job. I'm not sure that would be allowed really in the medical profession, but it certainly has this twinge of realism. I'm wondering what young people write to you about. Do you inspire them to go on with education and other things?
Yeah. You know, we get a lot of letters from kids. A lot of kids want to be doctors, which is kind of cool.
That's great.
Yeah, people are real supportive of the show and of the character, so I'm real pleased.
So your 4th week into your 3rd season? And you're not
We're
exhausted
beginning
yet.
our 4th week into our 3rd season.
That's really nice to meet you, Neil.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care of yourself.
Best of luck.
Thanks.
You too. All right.
And stop.
Thank you, and I didn't call you fat.
No. Real quiet, please. Hold on 1 minute.
6 interviews, not 20.
It's funny.
We'll see.
Right.
You've been quoted in articles as saying that you have a lot in common with Doogie Howser. True? Last week I talked with Michael J. Fox, and he was saying, you know, 1 minute in this town you're up, the next minute you're out. Ever have those feelings or fears? Yeah, but I've heard when you go back to Albuquerque, you and your buddies can have some crazies too. That's good. Thank you.
That's great.
People back in the East Coast will ask that question. I don't know how it